Bilt just rolled out 3 new credit cards and a brand new currency called Bilt Cash, and the internet immediately lost its mind.
It was so complicated. It left even points and miles professionals scratching their heads.
Now that the dust has settled a bit, we want to look at Bilt's new cards and the Bilt Cash program to see what the big picture looks like.
So is Bilt 2.0 a total disaster, or are we all missing something important here?
Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to the Upgraded Points podcast.
And I'm Katie, and today we have some Priority Pass app news. We've got an update on the Citi and Barclays American Airlines card transition, and we are diving in to the Bilt 2.0 program. Before we get to that, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to share this with a travel-loving friend. So if any of you follow Chris on social, you realize that he just got back from Japan, and
Yes.
I'm sure you're really interested in hearing about his trip. I know I am. We are going to dive into that next week's episode, so be sure to tune back in for that. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and it just did not fit in this week.
Yeah, I think some news broke while I was in Japan. The
Just a
Bilt
little.
2.0,
Yeah, something
was
small,
fun to-
you know,
fun to try and keep track of with the jet lag.
for real. Yes, Chris just got back yesterday, so
Yeah.
forgive him if he's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, so we're recording this at 1 a.m. No, just kidding. All right, well, let's start with this new Priority Pass Plus app that is rolling out gradually. So eventually the original Priority Pass app will be phased out and this new Priority Pass Plus will be implemented. Not everyone has access to it yet, but what I'm particularly excited about is that you're going to have the option to add multiple Priority Pass memberships to this app. So now Katie and I and many people in this hobby, if you have a premium credit card that comes with Priority Pass, each one will give you its own membership, a membership number, and that will come with a variety of benefits like getting into Chase Sapphire lounges, and you get those once per calendar year. So now, instead of logging in and logging out of your app, memorizing your numbers or logins, whatever, one app will be able to manage all of your memberships. So now you can just easily swap between those next time you get into a lounge, which I think is a really nice feature.
Yeah, that's going to be a great update. That Priority Pass app was not amazing up until now, so I'm really excited to see this update. So that's great news.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So we have known for quite a while that American Airlines is moving solely to Citi as their card issuer and dropping Barclays. That is not news, but what is news is we now know a little bit more about how that's going to work and the timeline. So Citi products will convert on Barclays products will convert to Citi on April 24th. Citi says the current cardholders will get their new card within 6 to 8 weeks after that. So I think if you still have your Barclays card, I'm assuming it'll still work, but it'll kind of behind the scenes be a Citi card at that point. So everyone should have their new cards by mid-June. If you have a Barclays American Airlines card, you will be automatically transitioned to a Citi card, and we now know what that's going to look like. So if you have the old Aviator World Elite MasterCard, you will get the American Airlines A Advantage Mile Up card. If you have the Aviator World Elite Blue MasterCard, which has not been available for quite a while, so I'm sure there are not a ton of these floating around, you will get the Citi Advantage Gold MasterCard. For those of you with the Aviator Red World Elite MasterCard, you will be transitioned to the Citi Advantage Platinum Select World Elite MasterCard. The Aviator Silver Card will get the new Citi Advantage Globe Card. And then those of you with the Aviator Business will be transitioned to the Citi Business Card. If you have already an American Airlines Citi card and you now are going to have a duplicate because of a Barclays card, you can contact Citi and have those cards linked to kind of ease that transition. And then the good news is you won't be excluded from a welcome bonus if you're transferred into one of those cards. So that's really great news. It sounds like
that's great news.
this is
a lot
going
of people
to...
we're worried about that.
Yeah. It sounds like this transition will be hopefully as smooth as it can be. So great news. Okay, Chris, it's time.
You
We
ready?
we got to dive into this. Okay, so as I'm sure a lot of you know, last month Bilt introduced three new credit cards and a new currency called Bilt Cash. Almost immediately, everyone kind of lost their minds and noticed how complicated the program was. The New York Times even said, "quote It is the most complicated reward system we have ever seen," and I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Not only that, but the Bilt loyalists, those of us who have been fans for years, felt like Bilt's founding principle, earning points on rent and now mortgage without transaction fees disappeared. And so while now you can technically earn points on your rent and mortgage now without a fee, it's not as simple or straightforward as it once was. So today we're going to give you a clear breakdown. There's no hype, no panic, just the facts. But yeah, right now you can earn unlimited points on rent and mortgage, even more than one property, that is awesome. Okay, there's no question about that. But there is a 3% transaction fee on rent payments if you want to earn points on those payments. You can waive that fee, however, by spending on those Bilt cards that we're going to talk about and applying this new Bilt Cash to waive the fee. So let's dive into these cards that we want to earn those Bilt Cash with.
Okay, so these three new cards that we're going to talk about are active as of a couple days ago, February 7th, excuse me. These new cards are issued by Cardless instead of Wells Fargo, which is the bank that issued the old Bilt Mastercard. If you were a previous card holder and chose to transition, your new card has been, quote, turned on as of a couple days ago. And if you were opted to not get a new Bilt credit card, you're staying with Wells Fargo, you now have a Wells Fargo autograph card. Um, so let's start with the first card, which is a no annual fee card, isn't it?
Always nice to have a no annual fee card. This card is the Bilt Blue card. It earns up to 1 point on rent and mortgage payments, and then 1x points plus 4% cash back in Bilt Cash on everyday spending. The perks for this card are pretty limited for a no annual fee card, as expected, but no foreign transaction fees, no annual fees, and it does come with a welcome offer, which is not something we've seen on the Bilt previous card, the 1.0. The welcome offer is $100 of Bilt Cash when you apply and get approved. That's enough to unlock $3,333.34 worth of housing payments at 1x earnings while avoiding the 3% transaction fees. One thing to note, your mortgage and rent comes out of your bank account. So even though you're charging it to your account, it won't count against your credit limit, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. And the other thing to note, and we're going to talk about this in our next segment, Bilt Cash is not exactly cash back. So just
Yeah,
think of it as
sorry.
Bilt Cash. That's okay. I just wanted to be clear.
Thank you.
So you are not getting 4% cash back. You're getting 4% Bilt Cash, which
To
may
use
or
that Bilt,
may
yeah.
not be. Yeah. Good. So next one is the Bilt Obsidian card. This is a $95 annual fee card. So that's a real nice sweet spot in annual fees. We love that. We just talked about a whole bunch of those last week. You can earn up to 1 point per dollar on rent and mortgage payments, 3 points per dollar plus 4% cash, Bilt Cash on your choice of dining or grocery spending. I almost did it there. Each year, up to $25,000 in purchases. And that is, you can choose your category, but you can only change it once per year in January. So it's not quite as simple as like, this month I want dining, this next month I want grocery. It's for the whole year. It defaults to dining, I believe I read somewhere, but I'm assuming when you get the card, not in January, you can still choose grocery. It also earns 2 points per dollar plus 4% Bilt Cash on travel spending and 1 point per dollar on everything else plus 4% in Bilt Cash. This one has a couple little perks. You do get $100 in Bilt travel credits towards hotel bookings each year, and that's up to $50 for each half of the year. These stays require 2 nights. So it's a very similar structure to what we've seen on a lot of other cards.
Yeah.
Just, $50 could come in handy. You never know.
Yeah.
And then it does also have a welcome offer. You can earn $200 in Bilt Cash when you apply and get approved. And that is enough to unlock $6,666.67 worth of housing payments at 1 point per dollar earnings.
Okay. So, got
So
that, everyone?
simple,
Okay.
right?
Well, now here's the top tier card that they are offering, and this one is at least getting some positive feedback. This is the Bilt Palladium card. This has a $495 annual fee. Now, this card will earn 1 point on rent and mortgage payments, and then 2 points plus 4% Bilt Cash back, Bilt Cash on everyday spending. I'm going to repeat that. So you'll
We
get
should have a little disclaimer at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bilt Cash
Yeah.
is not cash back.
Earn 1 point on rent and mortgage. Awesome. Earn 2 points plus 4% Bilt Cash on everyday spending. Okay. So the perks for this Bilt Palladium card, you can earn up to $400 in Bilt travel credits towards hotel bookings. That's available as up to $200 in each half of the year. Same as the other card, minimum 2-night stay. $200 in Bilt Cash deposited into your account annually. So that's enough to unlock that same $6,666.67 worth of housing payments at 1x earnings. That would be to avoid the 3% fee. And it comes with a Priority Pass membership. So always nice to have another one of those in your wallet. This card comes with a welcome offer. And this has a 50,000 points after spending 4,000 on non-housing expenses in the first 3 months. Plus, you get Gold Elite status and $300 Bilt Cash when you apply and get approved. So that's 50,000 Bilt rewards points, and we love Bilt reward points around here. So this card is already looking pretty good. But as you can see, it's pretty confusing. And so immediately after announcing all of this and all the backlash the Bilt received online, they came out with Bilt 2.1. Katie, you want to cover that one?
Yes, and we're not exaggerating. Literally 2 days after they introduced this, they kind of like, "Oh no, whoa, here. We realize it's complicated, or we hear you saying it's complicated. How about this to help things be easier?" And
More.
instead of simplifying the program, they just added a parallel program that you can choose, which just adds to the complexity of this whole program. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking, but let's go through the second program that we are dubbing, or we are not. The whole industry is dubbing Bilt 2.1. So instead of what we talked about on those cards, you can pay your rent or mortgage each month with your Bilt credit card with no fee and choose to earn rewards instead of Bilt Cash. But the amount of rewards you earn depends on how much you spend on non-housing purchases each month with your Bilt card. So let's take a look at some of the numbers. For, let's say, a $2,000 rent or mortgage per month. If you put 25% of that number, so $500 in non-housing spend on your card in a month, you will earn 0.5 point per dollar on that rent or mortgage spend. If you put 50%, so 1,000, you would earn 0.75 points per dollar. If you put 75% of that $2,000 monthly payment in non-housing spend on the card, you'll earn 1 point per dollar. And then if you put 100% of your monthly housing spend on your card in non-housing spend, so you have a $2,000 mortgage, you put $2,000 on the card in a month, you will earn 1.25 points per dollar. If you don't meet any of those minimum spending thresholds, you will receive 250 Bilt points. You can switch between these two easy to use symptoms or symptoms. You can choose between these two systems at any time, and your change will take effect the following month. So super easy to understand, right? Awesome.
Super.
And I kind of think like, yes, this second program makes it way more complicated. Like, why didn't they come out with something like if they had just come out with a second program, it would probably still have gotten a lot of criticism, but nowhere near what it got with the regular Bilt 2.0. So again, I don't know what they were thinking, but you do have this second option to earn points on your rent or mortgage. So with that, let's take a quick break. Everyone's going to process this for a few seconds, and then we will come back and we are going to dive into Bilt Cash and how to use this Bilt Cash.
Okay, welcome back. So we've covered the new Bilt credit cards, Bilt 2.0, and Katie went over Bilt 2.1. But let's dive into Bilt Cash and what it is and what you can use it for. And pretty much it's a new currency that can be used inside the Bilt ecosystem. All new Bilt Rewards credit cards earn 4% back in the form of Bilt Cash on all non-housing spending, so your everyday spending. Bilt members, even those without a Bilt credit card, can earn $50 in Bilt Cash each time they achieve a 25,000 point status milestone. But there's a problem. This Bilt Cash expires each year on December 31st, and you can only roll over a maximum of $100 of your Bilt Cash into the next year.
Yeah, don't love that. And like, why isn't it just expire after a year if you have to have it expire? Because you could earn Bilt
Yeah.
Cash on December 1st and that Bilt Cash expires at the end of the month. So I hope that's maybe something they will look at and adjust going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how this Bilt Cash can be used. The big news is it can be used on your rent or mortgage payments to waive the 3% fee that you need to pay to earn points on your rent or mortgage. And so you redeem $3 of Bilt Cash, which unlocks 100 points on housing payments. That doesn't make any sense to me. So we've had some other people do the math. I'm really happy I wasn't one that had to write all these news articles. So shout out to Nick and Juan and Ryan, I think, who wrote the bulk of these articles. Kudos, guys.
Yeah, well done.
So the number that you need to know is 75%. If you use your Bilt credit card on non-housing purchases that total at least 75% of your housing payment, that will generate enough Bilt Cash to cover the 3% fee you have to pay to earn 1 point per dollar on your housing payment. So if you have $1,000 rent or mortgage, you need to spend $750 in other expenses to earn 1 point per dollar on that $1,000 rent or mortgage. If you have $2,000, you have to spend $1,500 in other purchases every single month to earn enough Bilt Cash to earn 1 point per dollar on that $2,000 rent or mortgage payment.
Yeah, so that is obviously, the most attractive way to use your Bilt Cash. You want to waive that fee, get those points on your rent and mortgage. That's awesome. But for someone that is, maybe putting a lot of spend on your Bilt card and you have some extra Bilt Cash that doesn't go towards your 3% fee, you can also use Bilt Cash in a variety of other ways. And after the launch, we got all this information, but you can use your Bilt Cash on dining, travel, transportation, health and wellness, entertainment options, a whole bunch of stuff inside the Bilt ecosystem. I'll list off a few examples here. You can get it for up to $10 off per month for Grubhub groceries or food deliveries. A lot of us do that, so that's great. Up to $5 per month on Bilt Home Delivery powered by GoPuff. Okay. Up to $25 on one visit per month at Bilt dining locations. $50 to $100 per month based on your status for hotel stays in the Bilt app. You could also use your Bilt Cash to unlock higher transfer bonuses on rent day, which is interesting. Up to $350 per seat. That's 2 times per year for Blade. Very cool. One fitness class up to $40 per month booked through the Bilt app. Up to $10 per month at Walgreens. And those with the Bilt Obsidian card and the Bilt Palladium card can redeem $200 in Bilt Cash to unlock an additional 1 point on everyday spend. So that's up to $5,000 spent after activation. Yeah, we have articles listing all this, so don't worry, you have to memorize all this.
We'll have a lot of links in the show notes for you
lots
this week.
Of links. That is cool. And you can activate this accelerated earning rate up to 5 times per year. It expires after the 5,000 spending threshold is met or the calendar year ends. Whew. Katie, is it worth it?
Oh, that is a loaded question, Chris. Okay, so I wanted to look at some of the basic numbers because I have seen a lot of numbers out there and that just didn't make sense. So let's look at a $2,000 rent or mortgage. If you have the Bilt Palladium card, which is the one that earns 2 points per dollar on all of the other spend, um, you would need to spend $1,500 in additional spending on that card in Bilt 2.0. So that very first program I talked about, you would earn 2,000 points from your rent, 3,000 points from your spend. So that's a total of 5,000 points for a total of $3,500 in spend. That works out to 1.43 points per dollar, which isn't that exciting.
Yeah.
It just that doesn't make sense to me, and it's not an easy 1.43 cents or points per
No.
dollar because you have to keep track of a lot of things every single month and kind of jump through some hoops to make that happen. Let's look at Bilt 2.1, which is that secondary program that they added 2 days later to simplify things. If you had that same $2,000 rent or mortgage, and let's say you're going to put 100% of that spend in non-housing spend on your card. So you have $2,000 rent and you're also spending $2,000 on other purchases every single month. You would earn 2,500 points on your rent. So that's 1.25 points per dollar, which sounds great. You would earn 4,000 points from that spend, 2 points per dollar, which is nice. So that's a total of 6,500 points for 4,000 spend. That works out to 1.625 points per dollar. Better? Not too
Mm-hmm.
shabby, but there's a lot of effort to get that when you could kind of forget the whole rent or mortgage, put all of your spend on this card or like a Venture or a Venture X, and you're getting 2 points per dollar on everything.
Yeah.
So for me, the numbers don't make sense. I was talking to another points and miles professional um, who's pretty well known in this space, and we both kind of agreed. Even if we thought the program made sense, we cannot recommend it because it is too complicated. This is not
Yeah.
something that I have a lot of people ask me, "Oh, what's the credit card I should be getting? What program should I be getting into first?" I am not explaining this to Joe from down the street
Yeah.
because every points and miles professional I've spoken to is having trouble grasping this and understanding it and making sense of it. I don't see how an average person can. I'm sure there are some people out there that love this and think this is the best thing that's ever happened and go forth and conquer. That's great. But I think for the majority of people, the complications of this program are just too much. And for me, like Bilt Cash is worth absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I don't have a rent or mortgage, so that's not interesting to me. And on the surface, you think, okay, 4% Bilt Cash, that sounds great. But like, I don't order from GoPuff. It's
Yeah.
a huge pain in something to have to order from Grubhub
I know.
every month. Like, I don't care about going to a fitness class. I'm sure they don't even have fitness classes that I could book on Bilt in Columbus, Ohio. Like, that all is so unappealing to me. So for me personally, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I think Juan on our team wrote an article. He was getting the Palladium card and he was finding value in that program at least for a year. So we can link to that too for a different perspective. But what do you think of this, Chris?
Yeah. I think the problem, like the fact that we have to talk so much about it says enough. Like there are a lot of mental gymnastics to make the numbers
Yeah.
work, and for a lot of people, it's probably not worth it. I agree that the Bilt Palladium card, especially for the first year, is is worth it. That 50,000 Bilt points.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. And
I love Bilt points.
Bilt points are
Um,
great. Bilt points are great. Don't get us
yeah, but
wrong.
that's not the
We
argument here,
love Bilt
folks.
points. They have
Yeah,
fantastic transfer partners. I wanted to love this program.
right. Yeah, that's why we're trying
Um,
so hard to make this make
it's just
sense,
so
so you
hard.
can get more of these points. But like Katie said, for most people, it's not going to be worth it. And when Bilt first came out, uh, the whole pitch was you're going to earn points on your biggest expense each month. And so now to get those points, you need to spend at least 75% of that total. So people are now really looking at their spend every month and say, okay, am I going to spend all of this on my credit card? Is it going to be worth it? Um, I don't think so. And I think there are going to be some more changes coming, and hopefully not before this episode airs.
But you never know. You never know. Yeah, yeah. It feels like they're kind of abandoning their original target audience, those loyalists who have been with them since the beginning, with those really big rents in big cities. And it just feels like they're kind of losing the core of what they started at. And I guess I understand that because it wasn't profitable. I mean,
Right.
they're in a
Yeah.
business, like, that's not, throwing out points for free for your rent. Just it's not
Yeah.
a
There's
way
a
to do
reason Wells
business.
Fargo is no longer the card
Yeah, like,
issuer.
I get it from that perspective, but it's just like I feel like they've dug themselves in a hole and weren't quite
Yeah.
sure how to get out. And
So,
yeah, I expect to see some more changes from this program. If you guys have, other opinions or something you think we're missing, we'd love to hear from you. It's always fun to hear different perspectives about these types of things because we're all in different situations too. So you can always reach us at podcast@upgradedpoints.com. And this has been a lot. So I think we're actually going to skip our Q&As. We're going to save those for next week when we hear about Chris's trip to Japan, which I'm so excited about.
yeah.
So don't forget to share this episode with a travel loving friend. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all over the place. And Chris, I think that's going to do it for us this week. So we will see you next week.